Chickens have no appreciation for architecture. No chicken has ever stood outside and said, "That's a beautiful chicken house. I think I want to live there." Chickens behave instinctually without reason. And if you want a good design for a chicken coop, you don't study architecture, you study chickens.
Stewardship is everything.
Hello, I'm Tim.
And I'm Abby.
I'm the father.
And I'm the daughter.
And we, with our families, are Foundation Homestead. We would like to make some suggestions about designing a coop, and we'd also like to show you what we have and explain why we have what we have.
Tell you a little bit about our coop. The first and I think the most important thing is it was free. We moved it from a farm about maybe a mile and a half down the road here on a trailer. And the only improvements that we've made on it is the doors, the siding, it's the original roof, and we think it's about 80 plus years old.
Okay, this is our chicken run. It was made for velociraptors from Jurassic Park. And if you build a chicken house like this or a chicken run like this, you need to get back on your medication because it's way over the top. This was originally a calf pen, that's why it's built like this. It's embedded in concrete. This is oil field pipe, everything's welded together. And these are stock panels. So a small chick could come through that, but we don't let them out here until they get big enough. And you can see right here we still have the bottle holders for our bottle calves when we used to put them in this pen. Now they're over there, so we have something different for them. Now we'll go in and we'll look at the coop and explain a few things about what we have. This is our chicken roost, and we made it so it's as convenient as possible. And it's on hinges the way it's attached to the wall. So you can actually pick it up so that you can clean out from underneath. And what we made it with is 2x4s or the support members. And then the chicken roost itself is actually wooden handrail. And we picked that very purposefully. A lot of people use 2x4s or 2x2s. And a handrail is round. And I've got a demonstration. But the handrail is round and it's about 1.5 inches across, and that's just about the perfect size. You can use closet pole, it's a little bit smaller and it doesn't support them quite as well across that distance. But if you think of grabbing a 2x4 with your hand, it's very easy to pull that out from your hand. But if you have the ability to wrap your hand around, it's very difficult for you to get out, and that makes a chicken feel much more comfortable. See, a chicken has to set down to grasp that, and they can't fly off of it until they stand up. So that's part of the reason that the round is better. The other thing is that since it's round, as they work back and forth, they will wear that manure off of there and it'll fall to the ground. If you have a flat surface, it can tend to build up on top of that. So that's part of the reason and the explanation of why we use what we use. And this is available at virtually any lumber store.
These are our nesting boxes. Also, they were free, so we like free. But there's reasons why it's hung so far off the ground, and also why the top is sloped. If it's sloped on the top, obviously they can't roost up there. And then it needs to be so far off the ground because if it's closer to the ground, then they feel safer under there, and then you're just gonna have them start laying their eggs on the ground. You don't want that. There are only 10, but even with 10 slots in our 40 birds, not every nest is used. And we just use hay as nesting, and then every night we just come out and get the eggs before they freeze.
We've installed lights in our chicken house. It's very convenient at night, especially in the winter when the days are short and you're coming out to get eggs in the middle of the dark, in the middle of the night. And it's switchable. We can turn this on and off, and you'll notice on the ceiling that there's 2 lights up there. One is switchable and the other is not. And we have made another video. We'll leave a link for it down below if you want to know what that other light is for. Our coop is divided into two parts. This was not original to the building when we moved it over here, but this part is for our laying hens primarily, and the other half or section is for our chicks when we get them in the spring. And it's divided by this door, and I'll explain why. And we're going to take you around to the other side, and we'll go inside the brooder part. This is the opposite side of the coop, and this is where our brooder part is. And I'll take you inside. Might not be able to get clear in because it's fairly small for the chicks that we raise. And it needs cleaned out before they get here. They'll show up in March or April of each year. And we have our lamps, and they're on a corded system, so we can raise and lower them as the weather requires us to do. As it gets cold out, we'll have them closer to the ground, and then we raise them up as the flock starts to move to the corners, and then we know that it's too warm for them, so that we raise it up. Now, if you can see on this side of the coop, this is the opposite side of the door, and what we do to integrate our new chicks into the flock is we simply open this door, and at their own time and free will, they begin to move in, and the adult hens come in, and the flock gets mixed together, and they will naturally go out the coop door on this side, and we close the access for them on this side to go out into the run. So we don't ever have any problems integrating our flock. We don't have to teach them where to find food. We don't have to teach them where to roost, because they're naturally acclimated to this particular environment, and then they gradually acclimate themselves to the other side.
We currently have 40 birds with 2 roosters, and we order our birds late winter to come early spring, with the idea that when our butchering birds will come ready, we won't be butchering them in the heat of the summer. And we order enough to replace our layers that are getting older, and then to replenish our food supply that we keep in our freezer. Different types of birds that we have out here is our barred rock. Typically most people call them Plymouth Rock, which is actually the breed, and barred is part of the variety. The barred rocks are great dual purpose birds, which means they're good for meat and also for egg laying. This breed, along with our Buff Orpington, lay brown eggs. Buff Orpington is also a variety underneath Orpington. There's also lavender, white, and chocolate Orpingtons. Both of these breeds are weather hardy, which means that our extreme temperatures in Nebraska, like our summer temperatures that can reach up to 108 degrees, down to our winter temps that can be a negative 22, doesn't really affect them. Our golden lace Wyandotte are probably our favorite, just because of the unique color of the lacing and their feathers. Like the Buff Orpingtons, their feathers are thick and fluffy, which helps them stay warm during our cold winter months. The White Leghorn is the breed everyone seems to be familiar with. It's a heritage breed, and it's an amazing egg layer, laying up to 200 plus eggs annually. The White Leghorn is the bird that we started out with, and we've had the longest. Sometimes we have transplants from other places for various reasons. This is the only silver lace Wyandotte we have, and he is a jerk. When the weather turns nice, he will be put in a pot. Thanks for sticking with us through this video. We hope you enjoyed it. If you haven't subscribed to our channel yet, please do so. We always have something going on and a project to work on. God bless.